All right, Ed Buchero is a councilman with the city of Utica, and he's on the line along with Chris Salatino, who's the board president of the Utica School Board, and, of course, from Claim Solutions. And Chris also joining us in on this. And, Chris, you were also removed from the board. And what are your thoughts on what's going on over there at Harbor Point?
Well, good morning, Bill.
Good morning,
everyone. Ed.
Morning.
It is what it is. At the end of the day, the four of us that were removed were really the founding board members of the Harbor Point development, and it's the mayor's prerogative to do who he wants. I'm surprised it didn't happen because we were all appointed by the former mayor. So usually it took this mayor probably a little bit longer to catch up and put his people on the board. It's not unusual, and this is typically what happens. Yeah, we've done a great job. We've put it in the right direction. But Ed has been a great board member on there, and we've all worked pretty hard, and it's time. And and sometimes I agree that you should change these things and get new and fresh ideas as well. I was a little critical on some things. I mean, I had always thought that we should have a moratorium on any development up there until we understood what we were going to do within the confines of the harbor. And I think we didn't see a lot of that. We saw people buy property up there. We don't have any control over
that.
It's
funny because one of the things that I think I'm most impressed about with what happened out at Griffiths, out at the airport, and out at the technology, Griffiths, what the whole title is, but how they were very, very strict in determining who came in. Very, very picky about who got to open up shop there. And because they wanted to stay with a certain theme. Do you guys feel that you've done that down at Harbor Point up to this point?
No, actually, because there's really no plan that's been set forward. We hired the consultants, and I don't know how far Ed had gotten into this, and I don't want to be redundant, but, I don't know how far along we've gotten, or he's gotten in explaining that we've hired, contractors or consultants to decide on what we're going to put there, and that's where I think things have gone a little bit slower than I would have liked to have seen, and then coming back with the ideas of what we should have in the development. I know they talk about ball fields, and we talked about amphitheaters, and we talked about all of these other things. Ed had a great idea in connectivity because I had always thought that we should connect the area with the other areas, and I was in agreement with him on that. Yeah. And but at the end of the day, you don't have a plan on what's going in there. We should really control what leads you into there. Right. What type of businesses, and they should all coincide with each other as well. So, again, that was always a concern, and I think you were correct in saying that the Griffiths folks they were very strict on who they wanted to put in there because it was part of the development as a whole and made it a success. Yeah.
And Ed, do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Well, again, certainly, with the people that we hired, I think they're doing a great job. There's no doubt the Elan Group is doing a great job. It's a complex project, and we've put together, along with their input, the makeup of what we're looking to have in that harbor area. And it's being a four-season when we're looking to have residential, light retail, recreation. What we're always hoping to accomplish is that the harbor, not only as an independent venue, is successful, but that what it brings to the city of Utica could be transformed to other parts of the city of Utica. Okay. So again, and I don't even want to keep harping on connectivity, but it's certainly an important factor of the harbor. And I think we did lose a little bit of control of the area that surrounds the harbor in the North Utica area. We had an opportunity to put a moratorium on building so that properties that we were interested in acquiring, that we would be able to do that without having to compete and interfere with other individual private investors' plans and goals. And I think we missed an opportunity, and it's going to create some hardship for the harbor. But, those are all things that happen when you're going through those phases. And
I was going to say, and I've got like 1 minute. Chris Salatino, what is it going to be in, I don't know, in 10 years? What is that going to be down there? What will the harbor be?
I'm sorry, Bill, I can't hear you too well. What was the question?
Well, I have like 45 seconds here. Let me ask you this one. There was we had a report from someone who was a regular boater who would go on the canal, and said that in order to get into the harbor, they would have to change things because there would need to be a lock because of the change in levels, and that people would not go through and sit through a lock to drive in, maybe to go to a restaurant or go to something, that it would be an impediment. Do you know anything about that, or your thoughts on that?
I don't know if that's necessarily true. It's a beautiful harbor there.
Yeah.
They may have to dredge a little bit, but other than that, I think that, and I know they were going to repair the wall there, the head wall that was in that area, in the harbor, and the main walls that go around it. But at the end of the day, it really is a beautiful harbor. And
will they need a lock, though? Will a boat need a lock to come through?
That's the first I've heard of it, and I know we've had our engineers look at it, so I don't believe there's any accuracy in that. But I mean, it's never been brought to our attention by the engineers. But at the end of the day, to get the boat traffic off and get into Utica, and to get traffic off the thruway, it really is a wonderful, wonderful project for the city. Right. And I just hope and wish everyone real well on this. You know, we got the ball rolling on it, and I was happy to be on it. And it's a great, and like I said, it's a great time for change as well. So
okay. All right, Chris Salatino, Ed Buchero, guys, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
No problem. Talk to you soon.
All right, gentlemen. Quick break here. News coming up top of the hour, WIBX.